A dog is not a thing. A thing is replaceable. A dog is not. A thing is disposable. A dog is not. A thing doesn't have a heart. A dog's heart is bigger than anything you can ever own. Elizabeth Parker says it plain and simple in her book, Paw Prints in the Sand. Dogs are like family, and the love they evoke in humans is incomparable. I'm going to enlighten you on some of the reasons adopting a dog from a shelter is one of the best things you can do. Saving a life and giving a dog a deserving home can be immensely gratifying. According to the American Humane Society, only 15.8% of dogs who enter shelters are reunited with their owners, and the rest are waiting for someone to have room in their home and room in their heart and be adopted. Let's start by talking about the eventual euthanizing of shelter dogs. According to the dog whisperer Cesar Millan, dogs can end up in shelters for a variety of reasons. Lifestyle changes, such as losing a job, divorce, having a baby, or moving, are several reasons families can no longer keep their dogs and must give them to a shelter. These are all slightly understandable, given the fact that upon purchasing the dogs, these factors might not have been in mind. However, there are several more reasons people give up their dogs that unfortunately translate to poor planning and carelessness. These are lack of training, not enough time for a pet, the cost of dog ownership is too high, health issues with the dog or human, biting, too many pets already in the household, and allergies within the family. Surrendering a dog for any of these reasons is heartbreaking and leaves the dog feeling sad, confused, and lonely. When dog shelters have too many dogs and not enough room for newcomers, there's little to no choice left but to euthanize the older dogs and the ones that have been there the longest without being adopted. According to the American Humane Society, euthanized dogs are given an intravenous injection, which is the most painless and humane way to put the dog down. Still, statistics from the American Humane Society show that 56% of dogs in shelters are euthanized each year, and this can be upsetting to think about, especially if it was a dog you could have lovingly taken into your home. According to the book Redemption, The Myth of Pet Overpopulation and the No-Kill Revolution in America, between 4 million and 5 million dogs and cats are killed in shelters every year, even though about 90% of all shelter dogs are savable. What's more, every year there are twice as many people looking to add a new dog in their home than the total number of dogs in shelters. The market for shelter dogs only needs to increase by 3% in order to eliminate killing, and when you think about all the dogs' lives that will be saved and all the families that can benefit from taking in a shelter dog, the choice isn't too hard. But why shouldn't you consider buying your puppy from a pet store? The majority of people buy their dogs from pet stores, but there's no way to know whether or not the dog being purchased came from a puppy mill. As defined by the ASPCA, a puppy mill is a large-scale commercial dog breeding operation that places profit over the well-being of its dogs, who are often severely neglected, and acts without regard to responsible breeding practices. Female dogs that supply puppy mills with their young are bred at every opportunity, with little to no time in between for recovery. Once these dogs can no longer breed, they are killed. As if this isn't bad enough, once the puppies are born, they are given minimal care and are kept in horrifying conditions. Puppies are held in cages with wire flooring to reduce the immense amount of cleanup, but these cages injure the puppy's paws and legs and are even stacked in columns, causing the fecal matter from the puppies at the top of the stack to fall on those below. The puppy mills are overcrowded with horrifyingly unsanitary conditions, and according to the ASPCA, there is complete lack of vet care, food, water, socialization, and basic grooming. The puppies never experience treats, toys, or even exercise. This complete desocialized form of life for these puppies causes them to be hyperactive and aggressive, which aren't always the best qualities in a dog being taken into your family. The health of the puppies from puppy mills is also questionable given the fact that the puppies are given no bedding or protection from the cold or heat. Add inadequate vet care to the mix, and these puppies could suffer from epilepsy, heart and kidney disease, musculoskeletal disorders, blood disorders, deafness, eye problems, and respiratory disorders. This sounds bad, but it could be worse, with dogs suffering from crusty, oozing eyes, raging ear infection, mange, and abscessed feet. Unfortunately, puppy mills are legal because the requirement enforced by the USDR are minimal. According to the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, puppy mills are selling puppies to stores or brokers must be licensed and inspected, but it is perfectly legal to keep a dog in a cage that is only 6 inches longer than the dog in each direction, as well as having wire floors and stacked cages. According to Modern Dog Magazine, the Pet Industry Joint Advisory Council estimates that American pet stores sell between 300,000 and 400,000 puppies a year from puppy mills. As long as puppies are being purchased from pet stores, the demand will continue. The only way to truly stop puppy mills is to stop purchasing puppies from pet stores, whether you're sure they purchased from puppy mills or not. Let's get back to what this means for shelter dogs and why adopting a shelter dog is so rewarding. It can be tremendously satisfying to adopt a dog from a shelter. For one thing, you will be saving the life of a dog that had the chance of being euthanized or left alone. Also, once the adopted dog leaves the shelter, there will be more room for other dogs, such as strays or those that have been surrendered by their family. One of the most obvious benefits of adopting a dog from a shelter is that it will cost a lot less than from a breeder or a pet store. Those dogs are so expensive because they have been given all the medical care required for them to be sold from pet stores. For the most part, dogs in shelters have all been checked by a vet, spayed or neutered, and are up to date on their shots. By adopting a dog from a shelter, you will not be supporting puppy mills, which we've already discussed, and you will be reducing the pet population problem by decreasing demand. Many shelter dogs are already trained due to having previous owners, and according to the Daily Puppy, it is easy to find puppies or even purebreds if that's what you're looking for when buying a dog. We all know that dogs are good for the soul, and according to the book The Animal Advocate by Rebecca Stroud, pets are crucial to the elderly and have been proven to alleviate stress, sickness, and loneliness. In this way, even older dogs have a good chance of being adopted, especially if older people living alone are looking for a companion. With all that in mind, let's review some of the key points of this speech. Adopting a dog from a shelter is one of the most personally fulfilling things a person can do. This generous act helps prevent the euthanizing of dogs and discourages the market of dogs from pet stores to eliminate puppy mills and the horror and abuse and neglect that takes place. It seems foolish to keep bringing dogs into this world when there are already so many in need of a home. The best part of adopting a shelter dog is how loving they are once you let them into your home. My family adopted our dog Santos from a shelter 5 years ago, and he has become an integral part of our family. I feel happy to know that we saved him and feel like he has always been a part of us. Remember, 90% of shelter dogs are savable, and anyone can have similar experiences in adopting a dog. Please reflect on everything I said when looking to add a dog to your family and consider shelter dogs.